But first, 1 week on from the Liberal Party's majority decision to oppose Labor's constitutionally entrenched voice to everyone and everything, and it's becoming more and more clear just how strong and courageous Peta Credlin has been. Now, honestly, you wouldn't want to be in the trenches with some of these senior Liberals. You'd never know whether they might suddenly put down their weapons and not fight, or worse, leave your trench and run to the other side. First, there was Julian Leeser, the Coalition's now departed Indigenous Affairs spokesman, who said that Labor's voice will subject the elected Parliament to the whim of an unelected High Court and create governmental logjams, if not paralysis. He says the wording's got to change significantly, but here's the problem. Even if the PM doesn't change a word, Leeser will still campaign for Labor's voice and still vote for it. Now, so much for his arguments about constitutional integrity. He's going to support a bad voice anyway, despite the issues that legal experts have warned about for months. Then there's South Australian Senator Simon Birmingham, a long-time staffer, now an MP, a leader of the party's moderate wing since the departure of Christopher Pyne. Senator Birmingham, supposedly opposition leader in the Senate, supposedly Peter Dutton's loyal lieutenant, one of the key players inside the Coalition's leadership group, who you would think would be fully supportive of the party room's decision to oppose the voice. And he is not. He's not supportive. When asked point blank if he would support the shadow cabinet and the party room's majority decision to reject the voice, these are the weasel words we got from Birmingham.
Will you campaign for a no vote?
Well, it's equally not my intention. My intention is to respect the Australian people.
At a personal level, will you vote yes in the ballot box when it comes to that referendum?
Well, every Australian's going to enjoy the normal secret ballot of this type of process.
Now, indeed, he went beyond those weasel words. Not only did he fail to back in his party's no position, he actually invited Labor to adopt the modified yes position of Julian Leeser, of course, who just resigned from the front bench and who'll now, of course, campaign for a yes vote with Labor, regardless of whether they make any of his compromises. Now, let's be clear. This voice is wrong in principle and would be disastrous in practice. It's wrong to give some people a special say over the government of all Australians based on their gender. Entrenching separatism won't help improve the lives of Aboriginal people, but it will make the business of government immensely more complicated and difficult. That's why any separate voice, be it one based on race or gender or some other characteristic that defines us as being different, should be resisted. Whether it's a local or national voice, whether it's in the Constitution or just legislated. And good on Peta Credlin for finally grasping this fundamental point, that the opposition's job is to be a clear alternative on critical issues like this and not a weak echo of a bad government. And for saying a resounding no to this proposal that even pro-voice advocates like Leeser say has inherent legal risks. As John Howard said months ago, there's no support amongst Liberal Party members and supporters for this activist voice. The fact that nearly 200 Liberals turned up recently in Perth to hear Jacinta Price oppose the voice, but fewer than 20 turned up to hear Ken Wyatt speak in favour of the voice at the very same venue just before Wyatt resigned, tells you everything. And yes, Scott Morrison made a big mistake when he appointed Ken Wyatt Indigenous Affairs Minister. Peta Credlin also erred, appointing Leeser as his Indigenous Shadow Minister, given Leeser's long history on the voice. It's no wonder, with Wyatt as Minister, that the Coalition played footsie with the voice throughout the previous term of Parliament and got nothing done on recognition, because the two are very different. Recognition is about the historical fact of our settlement and ensuring the place of First Australians are noted in our Constitution. The voice, as I said, very different. It's got almost nothing to do with recognition and almost everything to do with power and co-government. It's about radically changing democracy in our country from one vote, one value to votes based on race. And the very fact that this is what The Voice is really about is highlighted by the PM's refusal to give you any detail about The Voice. He wants you to just vote it in before you understand what you're giving up. And what you're giving up, quite simply, is this country's egalitarian fair go. The idea that all of us are equal before the law and all of us, regardless of race, have an equal stake in this country. First the Nationals, now the Liberals, have started a fight with Labor over The Voice that the coalition simply must win. Now, I know that the Liberal Party has never been the Stalinist party that Labor is about internal dissent, and that's a good thing. But when the party and the leader are in the fight of their life, it is really wrong of senior Liberals not to join in. At least Lisa had enough honour to resign. But Simon Birmingham, if you're not going to emulate him, get out there, do your job by fighting against Labor's race-based voice. And if you won't fight, but don't have the guts to be honest enough to resign, then I'm afraid that's where the leader needs to take the decision out of your hands. Either Birmingham backs the Liberal Party or the Liberal Party leader sacks him. Back him or sack him. It really is that simple.